Guys, you are now watching a clip from the Fellas podcast. You can listen to the full podcast exclusively on Spotify for free. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed, and follow the podcast.
Is there a guy in there that you're particularly close with, or do you just get along with?
I do get along with most of them. I think they probably, in all fairness, do look at me as a bit of like a dad kind of thing.
Is that how you feel sometimes?
Which is nice though. It's nice. Do you know what I mean? The way they kind of like, they'll come and ask me questions, talk to me, this or that or whatever, pick my brain, whether they're asking me questions about my career and what's he like or whatever. But no, I do. I get on really well with all of them. Obviously the goalies union is quite strong. Me and Mark Howard, Chomp we call him.
Chomp?
Get on really well. I don't know why they call him Chomp, to be honest with you. But I get on really well with him. Goalies always do, to be fair. Goalies are normally like they're normally a bit older anyway, but they're normally like what's the word, like just a bit more chill, a bit more down to earth. Do you know what I mean? We'll just have a nice time. And
how did he feel about the whole situation though? Because obviously they've brought you. So the story is that the first team keeper got injured.
Yeah.
And then Mark is obviously like the backup there, but instead they've brought you in. So, was he all right with that?
So this is the thing. Mark Howard last season actually played, I think, 35 games last season, 34 games last season. He was the first team goalie.
Right,
so he started the season, he played all of the games, and then for some reason lost his place to Rob Lainton. And then when Rob was playing, I think Rob only played 5 games maybe. And then he got injured. So we're at this point at the season where we've smashed it so hard. And in any other season, in any other league, probably, you'd win the league. You've already won the league. Do you know what I mean? I joined with 8 games to go, and most teams with the amount of points that Wrexham had at that point in the season would have already won the league. It was ridiculous, right? But they got to the point where they knew they still had to play Notts County. They still had some big games coming up, and they just, it sounds bad, but they just wanted a bit more experience. They wanted somebody that might have been there before, and that's where the call came for me. And that's why I decided to do it. I was like, do you know what? I'll happily turn up and try and help the boys. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, like when I'm thinking I've got to join a team that's in the National League, I was thinking this should be a doddle. This should be a doddle, genuinely.
Compared to the level you played at.
I've spent the last sort of best part of 15 years playing in the Premier League, so this should be a doddle. And I remember the last phone call I had with the manager just before I actually went down and signed the papers. He went, listen, Fozzie. Like, are you ready for this? I need you to know that this isn't what you're used to, yeah? And he was saying it in a dead honest way. He wasn't being a dickhead on it. He was like, I need you to know that this isn't what you're going to be used to. It's not easy. It's genuinely not easy, right?
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, okay. And I actually I hung up and I thought, yeah, I think this will actually, I've been retired for 9 months. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Like, if you take anybody out of any sport, especially like a really active kind of a technical, like a being a goalkeeper, it's a big ask, It's genuinely a big ask. And I've got to ask myself, like, I can't just join and just toss it off and just, you know what I mean? Just have a nice time, whatever. Like, this is a serious thing.
Well, is their title...
Yeah,
their promotion hangs on this.
They've just spent the last 9 months. Yeah, they've spent the last 9 grafting for this, right? So I signed, and then I was like, yeah, man, this is proper. Like, I was watching them in training thinking, there's no way you're National League players.
Really?
They're so much better than National League. Yeah, straight away I thought...
How was your first training session?
Brutal. It was brutal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, brutal. Like, I genuinely...
just because you were out of it?
I was miles off it, yeah. I haven't caught a ball in months. Like, genuinely, the last ball I caught was a Chris MD video with Toadges.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Hey, no, a Chris MD free kick,
Plenty of free kick practice.
1 in 20, they go on target.
So, but it's still a mile away from National League. You know what I mean? Like, Chris couldn't play in National League. He would just get absolutely weights because he's a little baby. But, like, you know what I mean? It's nowhere near it. So that was the last kind of goalkeeping I did. So first session, bowled up. I was miles off it. It's like my hands.
Were they there like, what?
Yeah, were they not looking at you?
I
like,
guarantee you, what Mark has already told me, Mark Howard, the goalie, he was like, Fozzie, mate, honestly, that first day, you turned up and I was thinking, nah, come on. Like, this can't happen. Like, this can't happen. He was thinking, I'm good to go here. Like, and he is good to go. He's like fit as a fiddle, sharp as you like. And he's thinking, nah, this can't happen. And like, even I was thinking,
oh no.
Wow.
Manager watching from the side like, we're fucked.
So woke up the next day, Friday. I was a bit stiff, to be fair, I won't lie. Just diving around. You got to think, you got to dive around and stuff. It hurts. Woke up the next day, felt a bit stiff, turned in for training, and it was like something had just clicked. Like, it's just, maybe it was a day before a game or whatever, and I knew I had to be sharper and be good to go or whatever, but I was just back to, I
Way
felt
better.
genuinely like back to normal. Like I was sharp, I was turning, I was moving well, moving
I
like
bet the relief on the rest of the squad was like, thank God for
damn
that.
right
Jesus.
as well. The relief for me, mate. Honestly, the relief for me. And I kept like looking at the goalies thinking, are they like they're having me? Surely they're having me. They've got to be having. They're not having me off anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so felt good, and that was it, mate. Never looked back from there. Honestly.
Nice.
Yeah. Again, they are so proper. This is if I do next year, which I'm not sure if I will yet. I'm still undecided. I've got a decision, really big decision to make, but. A big part of it will be because of how good their lads are. They are
It's a good group of boys.
They're the best. They're probably the best changing rooms I've ever been in. Just proper normal blokes, down to earth. Just want to do it properly. They're so professional. It's a big deal though, mate. I was so nervous. Like I was so
many
nervous.
eyeballs were tuned
So many
into
eyeballs,
this. Like, and it was because of that reason. It was like, well, how are you? Because you're brought in to win this title. Anything less now is seen as a failure.
A lot of weight on your
Right,
shoulders.
so listen to this, I genuinely believe this. I'm not joking you one little bit. I think if you put all 20 Premier League goalkeepers into a National League weekend and made them play in that league, they would struggle. I promise you they would struggle.
Is it just because the football's so different?
So different.
Like you can't really read the game like you would in
It's
a Premier
so
League
physical. Honestly, it is so physical. Every team gets if they get a free kick from the halfway line, we'll put it on top of the goalie. Every team. It's the way it goes, right? Every team has a long throw, and I'm in a stinking long throw. Think Rory Jalap, Scud missile. Genuinely, they have all got a long throw, and as a goalie, it's your worst nightmare. It's your worst nightmare, I promise you. Every corner is an in-swinger on top of you, and you've got 6'5", 6'6" blokes like standing there going, all the best.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. It is honestly horrible. I think every goalie, they'd make saves for sure, but there would be goals going in from set pieces, corners, throw-ins, like I've said, that would you'd go, got to do better with that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got to do better with that.
That doesn't surprise me at all, though. Like,
Nah.
Because I was
Less
thinking
technical ability and more
have you heard about them footballers that always say, like there'll be Sunday League, but they're like, if I played in like the Championship or the Prem, where like it's like carpet, I'd be way better. They always say that, don't they? Because they're not bobbling around.
No, they wouldn't. But Prem League players are used to playing on that carpet. You put a Prem player on a bobbly pitch, it's the biggest leveler in the world. Honestly, that bobbly pitch is the biggest leveler. They will keep it dry for a reason. They don't want you to pass it. So us and Notts County are probably the best ballers, the best people who would play in the National League. Notts County do it more than us, but that's fine. That's just their style of play. So anytime we'd go away anywhere, they would make sure the grass is longer and they would make sure it's dry as a bone, right?
Really?
So we can't pass it around. It's horrible. It is. It's horrible, but it's the best leveler possible.
Oh,
Shit,
man. That sounds mental. So now they're going up into League Two.
League Two.
Right. How do you reckon they'll fare? With or without you?
Yeah.
How do you reckon they'll do?
I think we'll do all right. I really do. I think we'll do all right. Like I say, that first day of training when I got to see them, I thought, oh, there's no way you're National League. I first of all, I thought you would do all right in League One. You lot would. You would genuinely do all right in League One. Maybe even Championship. You'd hold your own. Do you know what I mean? Like Wrexham last season beat Coventry. They beat Coventry in the FA Cup. They held Sheffield United at home to a 3-3 draw. Sheffield United scored a last minute equaliser.
I think I remember watching.
And then they only just narrowly lost in the reverse fixture as well. So they know how to play these sort of players, and they will step up their game when they need to. So I think League Two next season, I've already seen a stat where Wrexham are favourites to get promoted already. So we've just been promoted,
back-to-back promotion,
and now we're favourite to get promoted again.
I'll back that.
Where did you see those odds? Let me get on those odds.
I'd back that as well. I would. I genuinely back it. They're ballers, mate. Honestly.
Do you reckon they'll be busy in the transfer window then, or do you think it's one of those where it's like, you know what, we've got a good? I mean, obviously they'll bring in a couple players here and there, but does it come across as one of those teams that it's like, almost
wholesale?
Similar?
No, not at all.
Really.
Not at all. They don't want to do it like that. The owners, I'm sure we'll talk about the owners in a bit, right? But the owners they want to do it so properly, right? I've never seen owners like it in my life. I promise you, I've never seen two guys that just want to do it properly. And they've got a guy below them. There's a couple guys below them actually, but one guy, Sean Harvey, right? He is like. He's worked in football all his life. He used to work for the Premier League. He used to work all sorts. And he is the most sort of sensible bloke they could have possibly hired. So anybody they want to sign, he makes sure he finds out about. He'll do, it's called doing your due diligence, basically. He'll find out what they're like as people. Yeah. Do they fit into a team? Do they do it properly, professional, all that kind of stuff. And he is that guy. And then he will also go, listen, we're not going to be paying ridiculous wages. We're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be like blowing teams out the water. We'll pay probably a premium, and that's what we will do. But
you have to do that to get promoted anyway.
But we're not going to go crazy. So they've done it properly, honestly, and they will do it properly. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if they probably signed 3 players, 3 or 4 maximum, but there will be real quality players that can actually improve the squad.
Yeah. No, because I was thinking about that. Is like, do they just go down the, I don't want to say the Newcastle route.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. Yeah,
spunking loads of cash and just making sure they get that promotion up there. But I think doing it almost in like a more sustainable way. This way is clearly,
it'll be more respected as well.
Yeah, really the fans appreciate it, and it also doesn't seem
because the
like
fans don't want it to be like this thing where Wrexham just keeps splashing the cash, make it to the top just by spending money. It's better if it's like how you say.
Well, even then, they want to invest in people as well. Like the fans want to get to know players, and they want to really enjoy them, and like they want cult heroes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Paul Mullin will always be a Wrexham cult hero. You know what I mean? Like Ben Tozer at centre back, like Elliot Lee in midfield. They will always be cult players. They were one of the first few that started this sort of like whole Wrexham revolution. And it's nice though for it to like if you're from Wrexham, even the surrounding areas, you're a Wrexham fan, and this is the beauty of Wrexham, and it's probably the reason why they chose Wrexham. Is the community of Wrexham is massive, honestly, and they love their football. Like the atmosphere at games, home game. For our last three or four home games that I played, we had 10,500 fans. National League, this is and
I swear one stand's like not even.
Well, then they've knocked the one stand behind the goal down already. So when that's rebuilt, it's going to be.
When that's supposed to be?
It's a couple of years away, I think, but it's going to be a 17,000 seater stadium when it's done. It's incredible. Like the atmosphere in that stadium when it's rocking is like nothing.
Yeah, because you've seen it happen. Like you also have like Crawley. Yeah. So they, and I think that is maybe an example of when something like an experiment. I don't want to call it an experiment, but it's very easy to see just because owners have a lot of money and they come in and they want to try something new. It's like, I can always appreciate that, but there's ways to go about it.
Yeah, you have to do it properly. There was another team. What was it? Filed, I think, FC Filed or something like that. A few years ago, they massive money. Like they had some new owner come in and he was trying to get them basically promoted straight away. I think they got promoted, then they got relegated, and then it kind of the wheels fell off. He lost interest, and that was it. Game over, done. And now they're struggling like God knows where, kind of thing. But that's the bad side of it, at least. Yeah. AFC Filed. Yeah.
So what? When he got, but he didn't just sell them off, did he?
No, I don't know what he did. But he basically he chucked loads of money at it basically to do it properly, and then it just kind of the wheels fell off. Didn't get promoted.
A football club has been criticised for posting a job advert which told people not to apply if they needed to pick up their children from school.
Oh, that's
sorry. Imagine reading that on your job application.
Oh wow,
it's a pretty easy way to.
So we're talking about like Filed now. I don't even know what league they're in now, but that they were like in the same position to it for us a few years ago in National League. They were trying to get promoted in that, and then crazy.
Went tits up. Yeah. Which is I'm excited. I mean, the one thing is obviously with the money in football. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Ryan and Rob they've got deep pockets, but it's like it's got to get to a point, and maybe that point is the championship where it's like, okay, like you can have that type of money, but you need
proper money,
proper money to take it further. And so I'd be interested to see, like, I mean, by the sounds of it, they know exactly what I'm sure they have a plan of what happens.
I still think there's a way of doing of being a successful football team by signing the right people. I mean, people first. Obviously you identify them as being good footballers, but you have to sign good players. Like I've been in teams like where they will just sign anyone from anywhere, and they haven't even asked about what he's like as a lad. You know what I mean? You sign one dickhead, and then you sign another dickhead. Them two dickheads join together, mate. Honestly,
the ultimate dickhead.
It's like they're like bacteria. I promise you, they are. They're like they'll multiply. They'll multiply into 4, and they'll grab another few. Like, and it's mate, it ruins the whole dressing room, right?
Do you think that's what's happened at Chelsea a bit? Then
I don't know, but no, I wouldn't say that. Do you know what I'd say is they've signed inexperienced players who, like, if you look at that Chelsea team, the only leader by looking at it on paper really is Thiago Silva, maybe N'Golo Kante, but he's not even really playing very much, and he's very quiet. But I'd say Chelsea have probably gone and paid an absolute premium, like that Mudryk guy. As soon as I see people full of tattoos and that all up the arm, typical footballer look, really. I think
flashy ball.
I'm not sure about your mentality because people to do that in the first place, it's a bit of a show, isn't it? It's like peacocking.
Vanity. Like,
exactly. It's a bit of vanity, and the players that I've played with throughout my whole career, the best players, the most dependable, the players on a Saturday afternoon you can rely on, right, are the ones that just get on with their business. Genuinely, just get on with their business. Go and do it. Go home, sweet as a nut. They're the kind of players you want. If you can surround yourself, basically build a team around players like that, you'll do sweet as a nut, I promise you.
Yeah, because I remember watching like I think it was about Liverpool, but they were saying like the amount of research that they'll do into a footballer's personal life, and just to see, like, you know, even to the point with like, how's their relationship with their girlfriend at the moment? Is that a bit rocky? I mean, like, they go that far into it to understand the level it takes to put together a squad. So it's like someone can be an unbelievable baller. I mean, there's been so many examples of this, but like this unbelievable baller. But ultimately, if they are that, like, they have that toxic ability, and especially if they can draw in other players in the changing room, I imagine like if you're going to spend 20, 30, 40, 50 million on a player, surely you can spend 100 grand figuring out if he's worth it.
Exactly that. The Man City do exactly the same thing. So whenever do you hear really any stories coming out about some of the big ballers at Man City, like,
they always get it spot on, you know.
Mate, you think about it, like Haaland, like Silva, players like that, like Rodri. Nothing. You don't hear nothing, mate. They come in, they do their job, they go home. It's as simple as that. Like, they're the players you want, honestly. So I would much rather build a squad of players who might not have the technical ability, but you know for a fact that when the chips are down, they will be there in the trenches, mate. Good to go. Seriously.
I wonder if they go to, like, is it like a private investigator job? I reckon they do that, you know.
It wouldn't surprise.
It must be,
because like again, if you're going to spend this much money on a player, you got to know.
Mate, social media, surely you just go on their Instagram page. Like,
even then, no, I reckon they take a step.
I bet they do. I bet they do. I bet they do. Well, they'll know somebody in your football club, especially at that level, at Premier League level, right? Somebody at your football club knows that player. They'll be a phone call away from knowing that player, or somebody that knows that player, somebody trustworthy enough to ask about that player. And then that's what it is. You'll straight away go the most direct source. What's he like as a lad? And as long as you know you're talking to somebody who's a solid character, what's he like as a lad, you'll trust his opinion. And I've been asked loads of times, so many times,
someone's like,
by managers that I know, whoever it could be, whatever, coaches, physios, whatever. Fozzie, what's this lad like? And I'll tell him honestly. I'll tell him honestly, because if you're a prick, you're a prick. It's as simple as that. Yeah, you don't deserve to get like a glowing reference if you're a prick. And there are pricks about. It's the way life goes. But if you're a good guy and you do it properly, oh my God, I will blow so much smoke up your ass. I will. I'll do it.
Get you that big sign-on bonus.
Yeah, for sure. You deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, it was because you said once you actually signed the thing that actually the wages for this, like, it was pretty much, you referred to it as peanuts. It was like, you know, pretty much something in the grand scheme of football wages, right? So if you were to stay for another one, is it one of those where you just value like that media side of it? Because obviously that's where you are probably most advanced with in terms of any other football out there, is that you value that side so much. Is that why you were there, like, I'm not too bothered about the thing, as long as can I get the GoPro in and just
basically, for sure. That's, again, it will be the same sort of thing, really, where the wages there will never be a stumbling block. There'll never be a stumbling block. This one's a bit different.
Tough to beat the Premier League wages anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I mean. It sounds bad, but like from what I had been earning for the last sort of, like, especially 10, 15 years, it's by the by. It is by the by. So that's never a problem or a worry for me anyway. What has to work if I did sign for Wrexham next season they'd have to be flexible with me with sort of days off, basically. Yeah. So like I said earlier, I live a couple hours away from Wrexham. So if I'm driving to training, that's 2 hours, and then I'll train, and then to get home, you've got to get through M6, through Birmingham. Take you 3 hours sometimes. You know what I mean?
So
exactly. But to be fair, even in the 6 weeks that I did, the club was so good with me. They were so flexible. They gave me sort of extra days off. We'd play on a Sunday. We'd play on a Saturday. They'd give me Sunday, Monday off. Yeah. I'd train Tuesday. We'd all have a day off on Wednesday anyway. Yeah. So I'd only be training really 3 days, do you know what I mean, for the game on the Saturday, which is fantastic. It's perfect for me as an older footballer as well. You need to learn your body, and I got very good at doing that as I got a bit older. So that is one thing that would be massive for me. They've got to be flexible. But then, like you say, the other side of it, all the kind of the media side, the YouTube, the podcast, the access that it gets you, just sort of building the profile of it. The way that Rob and Ryan as well, we had a meeting with them a few weeks ago before the season finished, and they sat us all down and they said, lads, listen, right, we need you to know that at this level, right, what you're earning through your football career, it's not going to set you up for life. It's not, right? It's as simple as that. And everybody was like, yeah, cool, that's the way it goes. So they said, listen, so we need you to know that with the platforms that we've got, Rob, I think Ryan alone's got like 50 million, like Instagram, yeah? Rob's got like, all told, like over 10, 12, 15 million or something. They're like, we will happily, really happily as well, use our platforms to promote whatever you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to start a clothing brand, you want to start a podcast, you want to...
Because I see Ryan promoting Ollie Palmer's
clothing brand.
Yeah.
He'll promote the clothing brand. And to be fair, Ollie's gear is really nice stuff as well. He brings it in for the lads. It's lovely stuff as well. And that's what I mean. They are so happy, to put it out there on their stories, put it out there on their Instagram, wear your gear. Like, that's phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah,
they don't have to do that.
I like that.
They genuinely don't have to do that. But they made a point of saying, no, we actively want to do that. Yeah, we want to help you. We want Wrexham to become. They basically want to run Wrexham and make Wrexham a new breed of football clubs.